At the end of this video, you're gonna see why these two pictures I still have and what's behind them. All right, 100 crew, let's talk about stocks. Yeah, stocks, I said it. Guys, before you go anywhere, I'm giving you weekly tips on money tips on how to make more money. You're my 100 crew. I wanna keep it 100 with you, you keep it 100 with me. In the comments, like, share, subscribe if you think this message is valuable. A lot of people have been asking me, Jeff, what do we buy for stocks? What's good? So I'm gonna leave a stock at the end that you could buy, thanks to Comeback Cam, who you'll see in the weekly vlog we do of the Chronicles. One kid I actually was coaching who's actually doing pretty good right now, and I think he's found his niche, and I'm very proud of him, as we kind of just trying to figure out what's the best thing to do with my money, right? Could be losing our job, and the Dow just lost 10,000 points almost since last year it was in here. So we've seen the market up really high, the economy booming, and now with this whole thing going on, it's like, man, what goes on with stocks? Like, what do I actually learn about stocks? What do I need to know? Now, everybody knows the old principle, buy low, sell high, right? I mean, it's true with real estate, it's true with business, it's true with anything that you kind of do in life. You know, you buy your house, you can sell it higher later on, right? And stocks, nothing more. I mean, the drunk guy at the bar will tell you that. But we're going to get into actually exactly what the stock market is, what you should buy. I'm going to give you a stock to buy at the end, and plus I'll also show you what's behind these two photos, which I probably should even show. Just so you understand why the Dow dropped so long. It's part of the reason is I did a video on free money, and the stimulus package that should come didn't work, and so there was a big sell-off. All right, when people get nervous, they kind of sell off stuff, and it makes everything tick. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what the Dow is the index fund of all the big companies together. You can buy them individually, which we'll talk about kind of at the end, but that's exactly what the Dow is, all right? So whether you lost your job, you just are trying to file unemployment, which, trust me, that's a whole work in itself. I know from people trying to do a video on it, and that's just a nightmare. Thinking, should I invest right now? Should I buy now? Should I wait? Should I not invest at all? I just lost a lot of money. All these are all the questions that are going through everybody's mind right now. Right? Hey, I know nothing about the stock market. It kind of makes me nervous. People lost money. I'm good. So the recent thing with the Feds, the Federal Reserve, is they injected $1.5 trillion into the banks so the banks don't go under. And that's kind of good news, because back in 2008 when the last crash, when I wasn't really paying attention to all that, is when the banks went under and the banks had to collect their money because they didn't know. So the Federal Reserve wrote that. The next part is they're trying to do the $1 trillion loan, and even the airline needs $50 billion to stay afloat, which I hope happens for my former future wife, who has a job with American Airlines and just got sent home to be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So there's basically, when we talk about your money, there's two things. There's the economy, and then there's the stock market. And they're not the same thing. The economy is run by businesses, which are operated by people. And now the people are sick, so the businesses aren't running and the economy is suffering. Where the stock market is run by companies, and people buy shares in the companies. Now, how the stock market works, if say the company is doing 10% better, then the people who bought the shares would see that 10%. But also what's inflected in the stock market is kind of emotion into it. Like when people buy and it's high in demand, they can raise the stock of the company. So it's kind of how the stock market works, where businesses is very more simple. It's the economy you get paid, the business you work for, and the people within the business, right? And it all comes down to people. So if you're at a business, your business is suffering, maybe you manage some people. I know the most important thing that makes all this run is people, which is why the economy is all going down, is because the people are sick, not able to work, can't go out. All that suffers from people moving. So if you need to manage your people, I know Josh Lewis Growth has a course called Mastering Management. I'm going to put it down there. This is a good time to actually then go check out a course. If you DM me on here, I'll give you a free link where you can try it out, so you can actually learn some skills to manage your people, to build your business, and help stimulate the economy going forward. So what I was explaining about the quarters is businesses run in quarter, January to April. That's the first quarter. So do stock markets and companies. They update. So even though people are buying and selling off stuff right now because of everything that's going on, you're not going to really know a full update until they report at the quarter. So I'll keep you updated as we're doing money advice and tips. So definitely hit that bell and subscribe and like it and everything, so you can see actually where you're at. So I actually drew it out, and I don't have Buddy the whiteboard. I'm gonna get him back, but basically this is the stock market, right? And this is January. Let's see where we got here. January here, we were booming right before this all hit. March is when it crashed. April is when we'll find out what's going on with it. So literally this whole thing and how stock markets work, just so you know. So everybody's asking me, Jeff, should I buy now? Should I wait? I'm going to give you that advice up in a little bit. I just want to explain exactly everything they're proposing. And actually right now too, they're actually proposing that they pay off student debt. that anybody has 30 grand of college debt they're going to pay off is one of the things on the table. Now, I don't think it's going to get approved, and I don't even know it should be really approved. I think they're doing it to save colleges, because they're going to realize that college debt is the next biggest crash. And when people realize that they're getting more information from a video like this than they ever learned in college, they're going to stop going to college, and then all this debt that they had didn't make sense. So listen, I'm someone who went to college. I'm a big fan of learning, but I know everything I learned outside of college is more beneficial than and I learned some stuff in college as well too. I just want to set you on the right path. So then forgiving college debt is to keep colleges alive so you can go back to college. I'm saying go buy a course, figure out some mentor, go learn from them. That's a way better kind of steal, unless you need like, a certificate or something like that. You're going to be, I don't know, whatever you're going to be, a lawyer, chemist, nurse, right? Certain things you need college for and it's set up. But I actually think going forward in about 20 years, it'll all be wiped away, especially the way I want to change the education system. So anytime there's a crash, there's kind of a trend, and history repeats itself, and it kind of looks like this. You can kind of read this here. There's a panic selling part, so stock market going higher, then it gets to panic selling, then there's a relief rally where it starts to spike up, and then it goes down to the demoralization phase. This is probably the time to buy. We're still at panic selling with a few spikes on a few different companies you can buy on kind of just individually. I do think we'll get kind of relief rally and then it'll go down. So the advice I give is this: if you have a lot of money, if you don't have a lot of money, invest a little bit right now just to feel where it's at, just to kind of see where you're at. Like, so let's say you have 10 grand, invest 2 grand, wait a little bit, and then do 2 grand more. See where it is, kind of feel it out. This isn't the down advice. It's always, I love stock market investing. I'm not even good at it. I just said 2 affirmations always made me better, and I buy stocks and they always did well. I actually wanted to pull in a little bit of my money out to invest in my software right before then. Kind of worked out well. But we're in it now, so you got to definitely go all in on what you're doing. With stock market and where we're at, because the market is so volatile, I think that's the word, you got to make sure you know what you're doing. Now, the way you got to know you love the stock market is you love reading like the news. You love reading of what the future is going to come. And we'll talk about futures and everything with stock market guys later. But basically, strong companies is what you want to bank on. You want to read about the company, see where it is, see what people are using. Like someone mentioned Zoom. Everybody uses Zoom. Man, I should buy Zoom stock. Everybody going home now because of the crisis is now on Zoom more. So would that be a good stock to buy? Like, that's a good way to think about it. So if you think about it that way and look at it, that's how you can buy particular stocks for it. And really at this point see kind of a little spike on certain things that you invest in. Now that's short-term investing. Long-term investing, if you're new to it, you probably want to long-term invest and think a 5-year plan. I know I hate that too. I want it now. I'm an entrepreneur. I want it fast, right? But especially now, the best thing to do is buy something and let it wait. I've actually done that with stocks before. And the best way to get started right now is something called Webull. I don't know if you know what they are or anything. I'm going to link 3 of them down so you can choose. Webull, Robinhood, and Stash. All those there, you go on, you can click. Webull's the best right now. They offer 2 free stocks. You have to fill out some information. Once you do, you can kind of go in there, read a few articles, and then buy. With 2 free stocks, just get your feel. Robinhood does the same thing, which is where I actually check in. They give you little notifications to your phone every day, so you feel like you're being smart with your money. And Stash also gives you a free $5 as well. So I'll leave those links in the before. They're doing it for Make More Money listeners and podcasts, and you guys, we're leaving it for you. And I get a kickback, which is cool because all my tenants are like, hey, we lost our jobs, we can't pay. So I'm figuring out different ways to make money. So it helps me out just to click and fill it out, because then I get money in my account that I'll invest wisely and then tell you about before you invested in. So just talking about the economy right now, there's slowdowns everywhere, mostly the airline market. I know this because, American Airlines sent everybody home right now. Also, hotels send everybody long, and they put them on like a furlong package, which is basically saying, hey, we'll pay you a little bit, can't pay you everything. All businesses are contracting right now. There's slow. Cinemarks, movie theaters are closed. All these businesses are slowing down. So what this means right now is that people are going to be using the same money in different areas. And you as a stock investor are going to bet in the areas of where they're going to use their money, right? Like I mentioned Zoom before. So I'm going to give you that stock tip that I talked about, and I'll explain to you why actually in Instagram Live later. So follow me on Instagram at Jeff the Entrepreneur, and we'll talk about it. But it's SELB. So SELB is a stock that is actually betting on the future technology to basically fix this whole stuff. You can look it up. That was a stock tip from Comeback Cam, and it's done pretty well for a little bit. You can buy it really low right now and then say, although I do think everything's going to dip again. So that's just me studying the history and the market where it's at. But but I do think it's good for you now to get your feet wet. If you've never done stock investing, go download Webull. It's free to join. You have 2 free stocks, and it's really just free information right there where you can actually start thinking and planning. So I think that was kind of all I had. Except what was on the back of these photos. And I really shouldn't do this. I actually looked for another photo of the girl I asked to marry me, the only girl. This wasn't it. These photos here, so it's just so you see, this is how driven I was on my journey. This girl, my buddy, I don't know if I could say her name. My buddy Mark called her tattoo hands because she had a tattoo on her hand. But she loved me. Oh, I don't know if she loved me. She was just a big fan. She watched all my YouTube videos one night. So if you, that would make my night if you do that, because then you can go through the channel. They're all good. I mean, you don't have to like me as much as Karen, but oh, I said her name. But anyway, but that's it. This has been great connecting with you. I'm doing daily videos every single day with knowledge. Please let me know which one you want to see. I already got the request on knowing how to start a YouTube channel. I'm definitely going to do that one, and a lot more coming soon. So that's it. JeffJCunningham.com. I collect 100, save to invest. You're my 100 crew. JeffJCunningham.com. My dreams keep me awake. I got to get on this Zoom call. I got to go. Oh, and the vlog, the Connecticut Corona Chronicles is going to come out. I think we might change the name. And we're going to actually put out MLMs, and do they really work at this time too? Because I know a lot of people ask me, should I join a network marketing? I need a business. I'm going to help you guys all out. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you tomorrow at the same time. Also, I have to read a disclaimer, so I'm going to read this disclaimer right here. Will Noth, shout out to him. He's like, hey man, I don't want to get sued. I was like, hey, sue me, man. I was like, it's more attention, my YouTube channel will blow up, but really don't sue me. So, the information shared here is not intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. Always seek investment and tax advice from an independent certified financial advisor on tax professional. And I actually want to say that I know people who have, and it hasn't worked out too well, so be careful who you choose as well. But definitely take the information I have with value. I know I speak passion with it because I'm passionate about your money, and you should be passionate about it too.